You know that at the beginning of this week, you're actually going to come across someone so annoying, so irritating, so emotionally immature, and so insecure. It's like, oh my God. And this is ever so important to happen to you, my gorgeous Capricornius, because then and there you're going to realize something so big about yourself. Do you know what you're going to realize? How powerful you are. You're going to realize how smart you are. You're going to realize how clever you are. You're going to realize, most importantly, that what are high standards you actually have. And at that moment in time, something is going to happen deep within on a very, very personal level indeed, especially when it comes to what you are passionate about. At the same time, you're gonna hear some kind of news, some kind of mystery, some kind of mystery, some kind of mystery, some kind of revelation, which is also at the same time gonna make you realize that, you know, it's now, after this moment in time, for you, it's only going to go upwards. This is so important. You know why you're going to realize that after this point, after this moment in time, things for you are only going to go upwards? Because at the same time, this in itself is going to make you aware of like how much you actually want to make the necessary step, the certain step. This in itself is going to be on your mind, because you're going to be reminded of something that you've been thinking about for so long. How much you want to do this, and how much this means to you so much. And all these things that happened with somebody being so immature and so closed-minded and so insecure are only going to make you aware of the fact that you're so different. And this is when you're going to realize, you know, the essence of your own power, which is going to almost lead towards you wanting to have the personal like celebration. This is going to feel so personal to you, because some kind of doubt and some kind of suspicion about yourself that you had, it's about to disappear, baby. And this in itself, it's only going to highlight your own desires, and that in itself is going to highlight what do you need to literally, what has come to an end in your life, you know. And that's all gonna kind of be needed from you to kind of understand what do you need to walk away from, what do you need to move away from. But it's a lot to do with some kind of restriction. This has become like a very dark and negative and very unnecessary restriction in your life that is overshadowing you. It's overshadowing who you are, it's overshadowing what you do, and it's going to be keep on slowing you down and bringing this horrible energy into your life until you realize this. And this is why this is so important, because on a very kind of spiritual level you are going to start opening up. And that in itself, you know, that in itself is like pretty much so going to make you aware of the fact. Now this is when things are going to start becoming very, very interesting, because only a day or two after that moment in time, this is going to make you aware of the fact that you need to try something one more time. It's about you trying something one more time. For the love of God, my gorgeous Capricornius, you need to go for it. And this, you know, it's like when you realize this, you know, what you need to understand is that this time it's actually going to be different, because this time it's going to lead towards you like kind of needing to understand where all this creativity is suddenly coming from. These are all going to be these amazing signs of synchronicities that are going to be guiding you. So what I said before, it's going to be like, oh my God, it's going to start like a personal celebration. It's going to end up like you actually wanting to have celebration. And that in itself, it's like pretty much so going to lead towards you having this idea, having this really amazing idea how to make your life so much happier. And at that moment in time, you are going to become very, very curious. It's all about this thirst for knowledge that you're actually going to feel. that you're actually going to have. And this in itself, it's like kind of gonna make you like restless, but in a good way, being restless. And this energy, my gorgeous Capricornius, is going to be completely unexpected. The energy of the unexpected, it's about to enter your life. The energy of unexpected, it's about to enter your spiritual journey, which means that, you know, after this moment in time, things are going to start happening really quickly. But you just have to like really pay attention to, you know, especially that particular idea that you are going to have. And this in itself is like pretty much so going to lead towards the movement, balance, and also such an important solution to an ongoing problem, which is going to bring harmony, healing into your life. You know, this is all about, my gorgeous Capricornius, your own expansion of the idea, growth. And you need to understand that you are going to find yourself at the first stages of completion. Okay, so this is why this is going to be so important. This is all going to lead towards you finding yourself at the first stages of completion. But it's like you did not kind of plan this, you know, and it's all, you know, you did not plan this whatsoever. And this is when things kind of work out to be so great, because you find yourself in midst of this energy where, you know, it's like so much to do with unexpected, but you work through your feelings, you work through your emotions, and you're keeping going and seeing where this is actually going to take you. So this is why this is going to be like, oh my goodness, like my gorgeous Capricornius, such an important week indeed. And also at the beginning of this week, you need to pay attention to, again, this is so important. Oh, listen, this is important. It's to do with your body, you know, and your body is really gonna be trying to make you aware of what is missing. There is something missing, whether this is to do with the protein, maybe you're lacking in protein, whether this is to do with a certain vitamins. You have to work out what this is, and it is not going to be very difficult, because your body is going to be communicating to you on a completely different level. So please do not ignore this. Do not ignore this, because this is necessary for your progression, but it's necessary for your healing, especially when it comes to your physical body. You know, this is ever so important. So your body is going to make you aware of what is missing, like whether this is to do with a vitamin, mineral, or a protein, or maybe even drinking more water. It really depends on you and your spiritual journey and how you're going to be able to feel this. But it's ever so important to understand that this is necessary in order for you to you know, make and create such a healthy impact on your lives. Okay, and on another note, what else I was going to say, my gorgeous Capricornius, that when it comes to the beginning of this week, you're also gonna have this like very unusual and strange message, which is gonna come to you through the actual meditation. And this very strange and unusual message that you're going to have, which is gonna come to you through meditation. Maybe you're gonna be meditating, maybe you're gonna be praying, maybe you're gonna be saying certain affirmations, maybe you're gonna be like kind of like a really, maybe it's gonna happen the first thing you wake up in the morning, because that's the state that we are, like kind of some kind of meditation. Anyway, we are very powerful, but there is some kind of very unusual situation gonna come to you when you are like kind of benefiting from that state of your mind, whether this is meditation. Do you understand what I mean? Because you tap into similar things, you tap into similar dimension, and that creates a very specific balance, and that in returns makes you aware of something unusual that you should do, something unusual that you should try. And that in itself, it's like, oh my God, one thing is going to lead to another. But I really want to repeat that it's something unusual that you're going to feel for the first time in your life, for the first time ever, how much you want to try something, how much you want to do something. This in itself, it's ever so important for you to do, because it's going to not only going to create a giant step forward with your life, but it's also going to make you aware of some kind of a skill that you really should be taking on a completely next level right now. Regardless what's going on in your life, regardless what's happening in your life, you know, you have to look at the challenges from a different angle. Whichever challenge you have, and it doesn't, you know, enjoy them, you know, just change your mind about them and enjoy them, and you will see what a great, amazing vibration this is going to bring into your life as well, let alone this being in itself like a pretty much so very, very strong and powerful guiding light, my gorgeous Capricornius, indeed. And also, you know, what else I was going to say, by the time you get to the mid part of this week, my gorgeous Capricornius, it's pretty much so about this, you know, it's this very much so strong figure, a male person, a man, is to do with a man, is to do with a very kind of strong man, very sharp man, very kind of difficult man at times, but only because lots of people cannot understand this man, because they can't relate to this man. So what I like about this man is that this is someone who is really successful, this is a leader, this is a father figure, but most importantly what I like about this soul is the fact that they're not afraid of showing to the world who they are. They don't care what people think about this person, and that's the way to go, baby. That's the way to go. Who cares what people think about you? Who cares what people feel about you? Don't let those unnecessary, annoying moments of thinking like destroy your happiness and your inner harmony, because you're only kind of like really doubling up on those things that are making you feel insecure and uncomfortable anyway. So you just have to learn how to enjoy your uniqueness, how to enjoy your weirdness. The more weird you are, my gorgeous Capricornians, the more successful you're going to be, the more happier you're going to be. And that's the, oh my God, that's one of the secrets of this life, one of the secrets of this spiritual journey, is because you're always like put in a certain brackets, you're always put in a certain box, you're always like kind of, it's always expected from you to follow the certain norms. Well, bye darling, bye darling, bye darling, no baby, no. It is all about how you feel about this life, and ignoring like things that absolutely do not make sense to you whatsoever, because this is what you're gonna learn through this person, where you're gonna realize the power of being yourself, and also the power of like kind of unlocking something very special within you, which is never ever going to kind of like prevent you or make you think in a negative way. It's to do with the specific energy within that you release, instead of like holding it in through your own negativity. And by holding the negative energy in with your mind through your own negativity, it's very difficult to move on in life, to move on with this life, you know, without being controlled by other people, without being manipulated by other people. You know, you're going to realize something so specific about yourself, how different you are, and you're going to be reminded of like how different your spiritual journey is to other people, and how you think differently. And this is a gift. This is not a curse, baby. This is a gift. It is always good. So this powerful male figure that I started this midweek with, it's really kind of, you know, somehow that person is connected to number 4. Also, somehow that person is connected to number 4, whether this is in their date of birth, whether this is in their year of birth, or, you know, but somehow number 4 is very strongly screaming out of this person to me. And this is someone who, you know, it's really kind of, that person is also above all going to kind of like, so it's to do with somebody who's a leader, who is very stable, who has got a powerful structure in their life, who's very powerful, who's very authoritative. This is a father figure I'm talking about, but at the same time, you know, this is such an amazing person who really inspires other people by the way they keep things under control, you know, and this particular person is going to inspire you so much to kind of start some kind of a new project here, and it's going to put you in a mode where you're going to have this urge to create. And it's like, oh my God, when people have such a mind-blowing effect and impact in our lives, like like, it's so good. It's so good. So it's about a new project that you're going to be inspired, you know, urge to create. You know, this is all about your own willpower, power. And then again, you know, you're going to become aware of a potential new beginning here that is going to give you so much, that is going to bring so much growth into your life. And this is fantastic. And also, what I really like, my gorgeous Capricornians, at around the midweek, you're really going to feel, not related to this what I said now, but at around the midweek you're also going to feel how much you want to clear the boundaries. You know, that the certain boundaries that you're going to feel like you want to clear, you're going to need to clear something out. You're going to need to have an important conversation with someone here, and it's to do with you clear, you know, like you it's to do with the clear boundaries, but also it's to do with you understanding that you're going to need to be very, very direct when you talk to someone here. And that in itself, you know, it's a lot to do with like you being direct. By being direct, by having an important conversation with someone, you're going to clear boundaries, you know. And this is so important for you to do, because it's to do with somebody who is prominent in your life, somebody who means to you quite a lot, but there's just something happens, some kind of misunderstanding or disagreement in between you two. You really have to kind of like go forward, because it's more with that person, because it's more about what is actually going to come out of it. You know, you're going to be worrying how you're going to do this or what's going to happen, but actually it's all going to work out really great, because somehow you are going to that person is going to be speaking to you, and then suddenly, you know, you are going to really connect to what this person is going to be saying in a kind of such an unusual way, where things are going to start becoming familiar to you, you know, familiar, where things are going to become familiar to you, what that person is saying. And lately you had a disconnection when it comes to that particular person I'm talking about. There was a disconnection. Now suddenly you're going to start kind of feeling the vibe and energy that you felt before. And this in itself, it's really going to remind you of certain happy memories. And now this is all going to lead towards you having these happy memories, and that in itself, it's really going to kind of like make you feel, it's going to make you feel really, really nostalgic, but it's all going to lead towards you like feeling absolutely ready in order to like this is going to put you in a mode of action, you know, and this is going to kind of give you so much confidence and clarity, and that in itself is kind of going to make you aware of how ready you are to manifest something here, to manifest, you know. This is going to lead towards the beginning of the project, and of a very, very specific project here, but it's also going to lead towards a very much so very, very much so creative adventure, you know, creative adventure. It's brilliant, where you are at the same time going to find out so much about yourself as well, indeed. And also when it comes to the midweek, my gorgeous Capricornius, you know, it's like a basically, you know, you are going to have a clear sign here, a sign which is going to be followed again by all sorts of synchronicities. You need to pay attention to the numbers 333, 777, 111 and 888. Any combination of these numbers that you see beforehand, you see before you see this good omen and before you see this sign, it's also a good sign that, you know, it's going to prepare you for this sign which you are going to have. So you are going to have a really good omen, and you are going to have a really good sign that is going to come to you somehow through the actual nature, whether you're going to look at the sky, whether you're going to see the plant, whether you're going to be in the forest, whether you're going to look at the tree. It's something is going to be very much so odd where you're going to look at, and it's going to be the part of the nature, but it is going to be part of the nature in itself, but it's just going to be odd, and it's not gonna, you're going to look at that and it's just not going to seem like it's not meant to be there. So you're looking at this big tree and it just doesn't seem like it's meant to be there, or something is going to be unusual about this tree, something is so weird about this tree, something is so bizarre about this tree. Do you get my drift? So something is going to happen in the nature, you're going to see something within the nature, and it's going to seem like it's not meant to be there. Maybe you're going to look at the cloud. Maybe you're going to see something in the sky that's not meant to be there. But anyway, you know, but it's just basically, you know, it really, really depends how you're going to see. But at that moment in time, my gorgeous Capricornians, at that moment in time, you're gonna like also need to kind of pay attention to if there is anything negative that you're thinking about, to release it. And if you're not, you need to understand that very shortly after you see this sign, almost immediately, like immediately, you see that sign, oh my God, that's not meant to be there, oh my God, and then suddenly it's going to come to you. What do you need to adjust? What adjustment do you need to make? And at the same time, you're going to remember someone who is like really kind of so influential in your life, somebody who's motivating you, somebody who's keeping you going, somebody who's such a good influence in your life. You're going to remind yourself of that person. That person is going to run through your mind, you know, and you're going to become aware of what a successful combination do you need to kind of pay attention to and take it on the next level. And this in itself is going to make you feel so kind of like a really kind of happy. And it's going to put you in this kind of mode of determination again. But this is a lot to do with your practical knowledge, you know, indeed. And by the time you get to the last part of this week, my gorgeous Capricornians, you know, it's like you are gonna feel like a little bit down. You are gonna feel like a little bit negative. You know, maybe you're gonna feel like a little bit sad, you know, purely because you're gonna be so disappointed with somebody. You know, there is some kind of deception that you're going to become aware of. But this in itself, it's nobody in your life. This is nobody who is like connected to you, but it's still going to affect you. So you're going to become aware of some bastard, you know, some bastard here. And for some reason, this person is not connected to your life at all, not personally, but it's going to affect you, you know, it's going to affect you, because I think that you are going to become aware of like maybe somebody has done something really bad to someone else. And because you're so smart, you will understand that what you understand, lots of people don't understand, for example. And you will know through your own sharpness, you know, through your own sharpness, through your own mind. It's all about a long story, what you understand, what some people don't understand, and you're going to be reminded of that. But you're going to feel sad that someone was bastard to somebody else. If you know what I mean, it's still going to affect you. This is still going to be important. So you are going to find yourself feeling down, negative, sad, you know, and that in itself, it's also like gonna, you know, it's to do with some kind of deception. It's to do with you becoming aware of that some really nasty people are getting away with something really bad here. And that in itself, it's really kind of going to, you know, going to make you feel a little bit negative. But then at the same time, what is really kind of important here is that there are other secrets which are going to come out, which are going to be so important. This is what you need to pay attention to. Other secrets are going to come out. What I want you to focus on, not this negativity. This is fine, bless your heart, only because your heart is going to be like hurting because somebody's unfortunate situation. Okay, so this shows a lot about you, and it says a lot about you in a good way. Do you know what I mean? In a good way. So, but what I want you to pay attention to, that, you know, there or two after this moment in time, the other secrets that are going to come out. Now, these other secrets you're going to find mysterious. These other secrets you're going to find out yourself for the first time ever, and this is going to blow you away, because these secrets that you're going to find out now, this in itself, it's going to scare you a little bit, because you will know if you don't kind of act on it now, this can kind of damage you and it can bring harm into your life. So it's more to do with like a hidden agenda that you're going to become aware of, but also at the same time, you know, this is a lot to do with the certain people being horrible and ignorant and not understanding normal people, for example. But then at the same time, you know, this is going to be brilliant. I'm saying this is going to be brilliant because day after that, you find this out. Just one day after that, you're gonna wake up in the morning. I know I always on about this, but you need to understand that when we wake up in the morning, why I always talk about this, because so much comes to us from a completely different dimension, you know, because we tap into a completely different world. When we sleep, we don't remember our dreams. I know I said this before, but it's important to mention for those Capricornians who are not maybe watching me, who haven't seen me saying this, but when we sleep, we travel into all sorts of dimensions, we tap into all sorts of different things, we are ridiculously powerful, and our mind is working like all the time, constantly. We dream constantly, we don't remember, and we have astral projections all the time, and we don't remember. But what we do remember is within the first few minutes after we wake up. Within the first few minutes after we wake up, you know, when you have those thoughts on your mind, now suddenly you feel keen and eager to do something, like, oh, I want to paint. Oh my God, I want to paint that picture. And then later on in the day, you forget about that you wanted to paint that picture. No, baby, no. This is why this is so sacred. You should follow this. If your message was in the morning, I need to paint that picture, go and paint that picture. Something else is gonna come out of it. Maybe the picture is gonna be worth millions. Maybe while you're painting this picture, you're gonna be reminded of God knows what, you know? So this is why you have to follow these sacred orders. These are sacred orders on our spiritual journey that only we can read, only we can understand, only we can see, only we can feel, only we can use, nobody else. You must not miss these absolutely wonderful opportunities in your lives. So one day after, you are going to wake up, my gorgeous Capricornians, and now suddenly you will become aware of something. Going back to, you know, like that harm, you know, that you're going to become aware of. You're going to become aware of secrets that you didn't know. One day after, you're going to wake up in the morning. I'm just going back instead of went off the subject as usual. But you are going to have like one day after, you are going to wake up in the morning and you're going to kind of become aware of something. It's to do with a sudden awareness. And that you're going to become aware of something like, oh my God, on a completely different scale. And now that in itself, it's going to put you in a mode where you are going to understand completely what do you need to do in order to choose happiness. You know, this in itself, it's also ever so important when it comes to like you feeling that you need to have like a little retreat. You need to have a little retreat. And I really strongly suggest you to have try to have a little retreat at around the end of the week, because you're going to feel like you want to do something for yourself, and you may not even feel like, oh, I want to have a retreat as such, but maybe you will feel like you want to go somewhere, and then you're going to realize, oh my God, this was like a kind of retreat that I didn't even realize that I actually need. So you are going to have, whether you understand this or not, whether you're going to be thinking about it or not, whether this is just going to run through your mind or not, you are going to find yourself having a mini retreat, my gorgeous Capricornians, at around the end of the week. And this mini retreat is so important because you will understand like what alignments do you need to make. You know, realignment. You're going to understand after that retreat, or at the time when you're having that mini retreat, what realignment you need to make. And as soon as you do that, you know, you are going to become aware of the opportunities and the choices, you know, that are going to bring a really huge accomplishment into your life. These opportunities and choices, and they're going to be several opportunities and choices which you're going to become aware of. And this in itself, it's going to bring one of the absolutely biggest accomplishments of your lives in exactly 9 weeks time. In exactly 9 weeks time, you go with this. You pay attention to these opportunities. You pay attention to these possibilities. You know, it's about the opportunities and the choices that are gonna come to you at the time when you have this retreat, or after you have this retreat. It's important for you to pay attention to, because in exactly 9 weeks, you are going to have one of the biggest accomplishments of your life. And that in itself is like going to show you progress, but it's also at the same time going to make you aware of even more results, which you are going to become aware of even more results, like kind of coming due from that. You know, it's going to lead towards you realizing, oh my god, even more is how much is actually going to come out of it. So this is why this is so important, my gorgeous Capricornians, indeed. And also, what else I was going to say, at around the end of the week, it's like basically, you know, someone is going to be struggling, somebody in your life is going to be struggling, and they're really gonna need your help. They're really gonna need you to understand them, and that's also somebody in your life. This is somebody very much so, very closely connected to you. You will know who this is, and this person will be struggling with something. They're going to feel really unsatisfied. They're going to feel really. They're going to be struggling with something, and you really need to. When you hear what they're struggling about, almost as if you're going to be like, "Oh, for a goodness sake, please don't be like that." I'm not saying you're like that, but what you just need to do, you need to understand. You need to understand what they're struggling about. That's all they need. Okay, my gorgeous Capricornians, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Sasha Bonasin, Psychic Medium. Love you. Bye.